Hello everyone, it's your girl Asia from the Room Reigns Fangirl channel. I am back here today with another video, a rant. I wanted to get something off my chest because I'm seeing something that's going around with the Degrassi fandom. You know, people talking about, the season 12 episode 1, when Katie and Drew had sex and everyone thinking it was sexually assault. So I just want to get my opinions out there and talk about it. And I just want to put out there this video might be triggering for some others because I will be talking about heavy stuff. I'm going to be talking about, sexual assault and things like that. So if anyone, is sensitive about it, please don't click this video. Watch it on your own terms. But I do want to get out my take about the whole topic considering Drew and Katie and the sex thing. And I'm gonna also go on a side rant talking about why I feel like Degrassi failed when it came to consequences and repercussions. So there's that. Um so the Drew and Katie thing. It's so hard because I never really looked at it like, oh, Katie sexually assaulted Drew. I never looked at it like that whenever I watched season 12. I never looked at it like that. But when I go around in the fandom, I see a lot of people had a big problem with the fact that Drew was drunk when him and Katie had sex. Because I did watch a girl's Degrassi Unpopular Opinions video, and she mentioned that there was that Degrassi missed the opportunity to do something with that storyline with Katie, basically taking advantage under Drew under the influence. And I kind of feel like I don't really think it was sexual assault. I feel like here's why I feel like people might think it was sexual assault. Because I feel like after Drew and Katie had sex, the next two episodes, I believe so, after that, Drew said things like he didn't remember. Like when she would talk about them having sex, he had no remembrance of it, right? He didn't remember because of the concussions, right? And then when Katie showed the tape that they recorded, that Dallas and I recorded of Drew when he said that he had sex with Katie, and she put it out there for the whole school to see. He told Bianca he didn't remember when she confronted him about it. So that might be where people are saying, oh, she sexually assaulted Drew because he didn't remember because he was so drunk. But I feel like it wasn't sexually assault. I feel like it was consensual sex because, to me, in my opinion, I feel like Degrassi could have wrote that completely different. They didn't. Drew shouldn't have been drinking. Period. He shouldn't have been drinking when he was trying to talk to Katie. I see why he did it, because he wanted to calm his nerves and he didn't want to say anything to make her feel like something could potentially be led on between them. But I feel like the Degrassi writers, like, I don't know why the Degrassi writers made Drew make mistakes where it was like he shouldn't have done that to begin with. Like I just said, why was he drinking to begin with? You feel me? Like, why was he drinking? He shouldn't have been drinking, period, if he was gonna be talking to Katie about why he didn't want to be with her and that he wanted to be with Bianca. I feel like they should have Drew just be honest from the beginning. Because he wasn't honest is the reason why him and Katie had sex. Y'all feel me? He should have told Katie in the classroom that when she was on drugs, he wanted to be with Bianca. He still had feelings for her. Instead of doing it in the cafe, where now you didn't have sex with this girl, you didn't took her virginity and everything like that. You tell her now right here that when she was on drugs, you fell back in love with Bianca. Why didn't they just make him say that in the beginning? They could have just had him say that. Instead, they had him get drunk, have sex with Katie, and then they made him say he didn't remember it. So I could see why some people might feel like it was sexual assault because he was so drunk and afterwards he said things like he didn't remember it. But to me, I feel like it was consensual because when Drew walked into the room, he seemed very clear-minded. He seemed to know what him and Katie were talking about. He seemed to be able to make conversations. He wasn't really slurring his words. He seemed very clear-minded, and one thing led to another, and him and Katie had sex. I mean, for God's sakes, after him and Katie had sex, he came out the room and went downstairs in the basement and said he had sex. So that to me seemed like he was very clear minded of what happened. It didn't seem like he was taken advantage of. But once you do an episode like that, and then he wakes up and he fell on his head, and now he has concussions, and he do something where he wakes up the next day and say he doesn't remember, of course the fandom are going to say it was sexual assault because he was completely drunk while Katie was completely sober, which is the problem I have. He didn't need to be drunk for them to have a conversation. You feel me? What he told her in the cafe is what he should have told her in the beginning. Straight up, he should have just been honest. I'm realizing now half of the mistakes that Drew has made is because the writers decided to make him go a different route when it was easy for him to just go straight line. Like, in season 13, I guess I could say this. Dallas, when Allie chose to go with that guy Leo over Dallas, and Dallas was like drinking a lot and things like that, Drew wanted to do something where the girl he was fooling around with lied about being pregnant. And, you know, when she told Dallas she was pregnant, Dallas said they never had sex and whatever, whatever. And then Dallas checked him about it and said, "Did you think?" Dallas was like, "Do you think I just get drunk and have sex with girls and don't remember it?" And then Drew looked at him, and then Dallas was like, "No, that's you." And that just was like, Drew do make dumb mistakes. I mean, I feel like season 13 or 14 was by far the biggest mistakes he ever made. Like, he just kept making them because at this point, his character was like completely derailed. Like, they had him taking drugs. Zoe was enabling his insomnia. He's taking drugs with Zoe, taking drugs that Zoe is enabling him with. He dates Zoe, has sex with Zoe. Like, it was just completely everywhere. I just feel like some of the stuff that Drew did could have been avoided. It didn't have to go that way. Like, he seemed like the type who was very mature to have a conversation without having to do some dumb shit. I get it. Drew was not trying to hurt Katie. He was not trying to look like the bad guy. He wanted everyone to feel great. But it's like, in this situation, it's never going to be easy to tell another person you have feelings for someone else while you're with them. So they're going to get hurt no matter what. Regardless of how fancy you put it or how much you don't want to hurt their feelings, they're going to get hurt regardless. But I feel like Katie would have had way more respect from him had he just said, "When you were on drugs, we were completely distant. We barely talked, we barely hung out, and everything like that. And during that time, I fell back in love with Bianca, and I knew I wanted to be with her." I just feel like, what was so hard with the writers just making him say those words? Instead, they wanted to go this whole route with him getting drunk and having sex with Katie, and then making it seem like he's saying he don't remember, and not everyone's saying she sexually assaulted him. It was just a lot. Me personally, in my opinion, I don't think it was sexually assault. I don't. I think it was very consensual, and I think him suffering concussions is what made him feel like he didn't remember it. But in that moment, he definitely knew what he was doing with Katie. I feel like it was consensual sex. I just feel like it was consensual sex. That's just my opinion. Everyone else can have their own opinion about it, thinking it was sexual assault. But I feel like Degrassi handles those storylines so well to think that if it was sexual assault, they would have done something with it. I can't imagine them not doing something with it. Because, we are in this world where people feel like it doesn't happen to men. And yes, I'm going to go there. People feel like only women are the only ones who get sexually assaulted or get, who have sexual abuse growing up. No, it's men too. It's not just women. And I think we live in a world where it's uncomfortable to see a man as a victim because he's not really a man. So I feel like had that happened to Degrassi, they could have been the first ones to break that barrier. Like, it's not just women, it's men too. You feel me? I just feel like if it was a sexual assault storyline in Degrassi, there's no way in hell it would have been ignored. There's no way. I can't imagine it being ignored. There's no way in hell I could think them ignoring a sexual assault storyline. It just doesn't happen because they did a great job with Paige's sexual assault storyline. They did an excellent job with Darcy's storyline. They did an excellent job with Zoe's storyline. Like, they did a great job with all of their sexual assault storylines, to where it's like, had it happened to a boy on Degrassi, do I think it would have been ignored? I don't think so, because Degrassi took those storylines very, very fucking seriously. We're just living in a world where it's uncomfortable to see a man being a victim and thinking he can be assaulted like that by a man or a woman. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I think some of y'all are very, very uncomfortable seeing a man being assaulted. That's just how I feel. So, in my opinion, I don't think Katie sexually assaulted Drew. I feel like what happened between them was consensual sex, and I'm just gonna leave it as that. On to my other rant. I feel like Degrassi did a horrible job when it came to consequences and repercussions, and I said this because when I watch, I've been watching my dude's channel who rewatches Degrassi. I watched every season with him, and I look at some of the storylines that were like really repercussions and things like that, and I feel like some of them were not handled well. Like as far as I feel like the repercussions for it really sucks. It really hurts to say that out of all the sexual assault storylines in Degrassi, Zoe was the only one who had justice. She was the only one who had justice. That sucks because Darcy deserved justice. But you know what I really liked about Darcy's storyline is that that does happen. You know, roofie and girls drinks. That shit does happen, and you do get raped by someone you don't know. You never looked at their face. You don't know what happened. So with Darcy, with hers, it was more like getting her power back, her strength. Like because she didn't see who the person did it, it made her feel. I guess not. I'm not gonna victim. It's no. Because you're gonna have that mindset, like, was it something I did? Was it something I said to make them feel like they could do this to me? But that's you victim blaming yourself, which someone should not do. But with Darcy, I don't know, hers was just really, really good because I liked what they did. It was something different. I feel like Paige should have had some justice. Her not having justice always, always, always irritated me. She deserved justice. She deserved justice. So it kind of always left the bitter taste in my mouth that out of all the girls, Zoe was the only one who got justice, but she absolutely deserved it because Zoe's sexual assault storyline was really great. I loved her storyline. It was amazing. It was really great. I was glad that she was able to get justice, and I hated Darcy. It's not Darcy. Becky is such a bitch because I can't believe she told that girl in season 14 that with her baggage she can't be on the cheer team. You mean I'm not Darcy? How can you just walk around school? If anything, I understand Darcy did. I keep saying Darcy. Excuse me. I understand Becky did not sexually assault Zoe, but I feel like she owes her an apology because you want to sit here and act like, oh, your family is such a good Christian name, yet you had a whole brother who went to church and everything and wanted to gang rape a girl with his best friend because she was drunk and in a pool room and she said things while she was drunk that made her, it implicated that she wanted them. I feel like Becky owes Zoe an apology on behalf of her brother because I know he's not going to do it because he's locked up. Therefore, Becky owed her an apology for apologizing for everything that her brother did and that she's so sorry. If anything, they could have really did something interesting with Becky after everything that happened with her brother, knowing that he raped a girl at her school. She go to school with this girl. She got to see this girl every day. They could have did something. Instead, they had this bitch say she has baggage. Are you kidding me? You mean the baggage I'm carrying after what your brother did? Becky Baker? Like, come on now. Becky was shit. And it's like, I thought you was for the girls. You not for the girls. Because I would have never said nothing like that had I known it's my brother who did some shit like that to another girl. If anything, I would have been completely against going to school with the girl who got assaulted by my brother. I would not be able to walk them hallways and look at her face and think it was cool. I would not be able to do that. I would tell my mama, you got to transfer me to a different school because I cannot walk in the hallway and look at that girl. I can't do it. I just can't. I can't do it. So, screw Becky for that. I think Degrassi just sucked when it comes to handling repercussions. Like, think about it. Peter didn't have no repercussions for any of the shit that he did in Degrassi. Nothing. None of the shit that he did, he didn't get no repercussions for it. He got slapped on the wrist, all that shit. He didn't get no repercussions for the Manny shit. He didn't get no repercussions for the Darcy shit. He didn't get no repercussions for the drag racing. He didn't get no repercussions for putting weed in Sean's locker. He handled zero punishment for all the shit he did in Degrassi. That's crazy. And with all the shit that he did, he shouldn't have been still going to that fucking school. Let's talk about it. He should not have still been walking in them Degrassi hallways. Like, literally cut the bullshit. What's another storyline I'm thinking of? The Page and Mr. Orlander storyline. There was no repercussions for that at all. He told the truth, and all he did was lose whatever it was. All he did was not be able to work in college. What? There should be no way in hell at the end of the episode him and Paige are sitting in the park talking about now they could be seen and no one can judge them. Where are the handcuffs? Why is he not in an orange jumpsuit? Why is he not in jail? I'm not understanding. There should be no way in hell that he's able to walk free after he just confessed to having a secret relationship with one of his students. Come on, Degrassi. Y'all should be doing better than that. There was no repercussions for the Tristan and teacher storyline. And I didn't like the way they wrote that at all. Like, I feel like I would never victim blame someone, but this is just my opinion. I feel like the Degrassi writers gave Tristan that storyline with his teacher because he was really desperate for love. I feel like if you wanted Tristan to be with someone, you could have just put him with someone his own fucking age. Why is he with a teacher? He could have been with anybody else up until he got with Miles. Anyone else. And you could have did something where the dude cheated on him or something like that. You do something where he's in a reading class that no one knew that he was in up until the last very minute. He's suddenly interested in poetry. Since when? When is he interested in poetry? Tristan never mentioned nothing about being interested in reading or English at all. So they just magically wrote that. Like, you could see that this teacher was basically grooming Tristan. It makes no sense that Tristan is a virgin in Degrassi Next class. How do you get chlamydia if you're a virgin? That is a sexually transmitted disease that you get from being sexually active. That makes no sense. Him and that teacher were fooling around for quite some time, so he had to lose his virginity to him. Am I right? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I feel like they could have gave Tristan a different storyline than him fooling around with that teacher. I mean, that teacher was grooming him from the beginning, like telling him his reading sucks, and then driving Tristan home, inviting Tristan to his apartment, all types of stuff, giving Tristan a hickey. Like, come on, man. There was no repercussions for that storyline at all. I can't believe Tristan was pissed. I can't believe they wrote that. I can't believe they had Tristan be pissed at Maya for her trying to help him. Like, as your friend, if you told me the English teacher is fooling around with you, you best believe I'm calling the principal and I'm telling her to call the police. Because I want you to be happy, but I don't want you to be with a grown-ass man who's going to groom you. It's disgusting. It's not right. So I feel like Tristan was only mad because he felt like Maya was trying to rip away his love life. But it's like, it has nothing to do with that. I want you to be in love. I want you to have relationships. I want you to experience it. But not with our fucking English teacher. Do you hear yourself? It's ridiculous. So I just feel like I didn't like the way they did that storyline. And after she told Mr. Simpson, all that teacher got was a suspension. He ain't gonna be able to come back. Where is the police? Why is he not being arrested? Why is he just getting suspended or fired? What's up with them letting these predators off the hook like this in the Degrassi universe? I never understood it. And then with the Zoe shit, why didn't Zoe put Maya all over the internet for when Zoe put Maya all over the internet about being a slut? Why is Maya in the rubber room? Why the fuck is Zoe in there? Because she wrote a song. Zoe didn't suffer any consequences for what she did to Maya. She cyberbullied her and she didn't get no repercussions, no consequences. That is crazy to me that she didn't serve no punishment at all for what she did. Man, the Degrassi writers are funny. They are funny. I feel like they don't do a good job when it comes to consequences and shit like that, because half of the shit I just said, nobody should got away with. It was ridiculous. On they should not have got. It's crazy that they got away with what they got away with, because there's no way in hell they should have. There's no way in hell any of those predators who were teachers should have got away with sleeping with a student, having a secret relationship with a student. They should never have gotten away with it. That's crazy to think that they did get away with it. That's crazy. But that's all I gotta say for this video. I'm gonna catch y'all on my next ones. Peace.